we could just jump right in with the first one, being something for wall graphics and floor graphics, being the LexJet print and stick fabric. So I don't know, Dave, what are your thoughts on that application and where this product fits in and how Canon users have been successful with it?
Yeah, I use that product, a lot. The repositionable is such a popular product today for us. We're seeing applications of the repositionable product, as you see, on the wall behind me. I mean, that's a painted block wall. I can't get anything to stick to a painted block wall hardly, and these repositionable products, stick well to a lot of conditions where you just wouldn't expect it to be used. The one of the things that Canon offers some software tools, something called Canon Free Layout Plus, and it offers you, even the most novice user, the ability to kind of do some nice paneling of a single image where you can turn it into a quick wall mural. In fact, maybe it's not the ideal condition. I'm using my laptop here. Maybe I can show you here in a minute where I've just simply taken a company logo and paneled it across. I had a postcard I turned into a wall mural, just because we had the mayor come into our facility, and we just wanted to do something to kind of welcome him here where I'm at today. So that was kind of fun to do. But these types of applications, as you can kind of see behind me, are extremely popular because it can be used in a lot of different ways. First of all, you can see some of the stuff is COVID signage. In construction industry, you can see they use it quite often because they don't need to have the caution signs up all the time. It's only at certain phases of the project. So having certain graphics up for as a temporary purpose is really important. In like an education market, you take a look at temporary yard signs, political signs, those types of things. Having the ability to go ahead and grab a quick print here to create, because the outdoor capabilities, creating quick and easy graphics. And the other thing too is it's the output quality is pretty amazing when you take a look at these. I'm going to go ahead and flip this around on kind of the back side, just so you can kind of see, it's true photographic quality. This was just done on our GP series machine. So, when you take a look at those kind of capabilities and the fact that I can easily, take this off, and replace it with no residue, nothing that's going to, cause this to stick or anything to, start collecting lint. There's no residue of any kind that's being applied to this. So, kind of the smoother the surface, the better it sticks, the harder it sticks, which is exactly what we want for like coroplast type applications. When you have, let's say like a painted wall, it's not quite as aggressive because it's not perfectly smooth, right? Like something like this is. And just do the texture of the paint, if you will, it just comes off super simple. But you get zero, zero residue or zero damage at all to your paint, which is, kind of the most important thing for a lot of customers. One of my, here at Canon, we do a lot of events across the country, especially when we launch new products. And one of the things that, I always do is, at those events, I want to put, graphics up, letting people know where to go, directional signage, but more importantly, just advertising the event. So the fact that, we can put the foam cords, apply it right, then for that, the next day, the events or the things are changing, I can just go ahead and tear that off and reuse the same foam cord without having additional expense is really
Dave,
one of the key applications.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I see especially with that one, just thinking about it in terms of, who would be purchasing something like that or who you could offer something like that to. If you're a school and you have your printer in a house, I see yard signs like this at the front of high schools, middle schools, elementary schools all the time. So I feel like that would be an easy application for someone who isn't, I don't want to say someone who is a novice user, but typically it's not something that you're spending all day on. if you're at a school. So you need something that's easy. And I feel like that's a great application, for schools or for a photographer even who is, working with schools. They're doing school photography. They're doing sports teams. I see, again, those signs out there on the lawn for that stuff as well. So there's no reason that if the school can't do it, that you as a photographer or someone with this printer who has a relationship with the school can't get right in there and help them with that. Just super easy, and another great way to use the Canon printers.
Yeah,
Sean, I had a law office that actually they approached me because they were using their printer, but they were still outsourcing the boards that they showed in the courtroom. That was a mounted board with print on it, and they were outsourcing those to a place that would print it and mount it for them. And then when they were done, they would throw it out. And I'm like, you don't have to do that anymore. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, you can get the boards and then just reuse the same board over and over. And then all you're doing is peeling it and sticking it. And if you don't get it just right, it's repositionable. So you can peel it and stick it until you get it right. And they're like, wait a minute. And now we don't have to wait until the next day to get it. We can get it right away. And we're not paying them to mount it. We're reusing the same thing. And they instantly switched. It basically gave them the reason to keep and to buy the Canon printer and that specific media, because they were basically becoming eco-friendly by not buying something new and throwing it away. And especially with you guys, I know you guys are super into eco-friendly right now. So anytime we can reduce our waste and reuse things over and over again, that's fantastic.
Definitely. And I think just while we're talking through the yard sign application, for those who haven't produced it before, the LexJet YouTube channel has a video that shows how to apply it, applying it to the board, then basically flipping the board over and then trimming out the excess, from the back, so it's nice and clean. So for, again, anyone who's interested in that type of application, we do have that support on the LexJet YouTube channel as well, where you can watch a quick video and see how it's applied and trimmed out. So just wanted to throw that in there just in case.
Yeah, so the part of the reason why I'm sitting where I'm at is I wanted to let people see as a backdrop, right? Everything that and how I'm using it, and so if you want, I mean, I know this is risky, and you can kind of make the call, Sean. I could actually show a few areas where we've actually are using it here, specifically with kind of the wall mural type applications. It's up to you.
I'm not averse to the risk at this point.
Okay.
Dave, we walked through yesterday. I saw what we're going to be seeing, so it's okay. It's nothing out of line.
So, Sean, while he gets done, Dave, before you leave that room, Sean, can you talk about the fact that this is slip rated for the floors?
Yeah. It is, absolutely. This is something that you can use for floor graphics as well, for short-term floor graphics.
There on your floor?
I took it off, yeah. So you can see was there for so long that the floor, it became, as the floor carpet gets lighter and lighter, so you can actually see where it once was.
I mean, the fact that number one, it attached to carpet for months and was vacuumed over every single day. But number two, I've seen sports teams at basketball courts. They're not putting it on the main court, but they're putting it on the perimeter of their court for advertisers. So now, somebody will buy advertising right on the perimeter of the floor, which is really cool.
So what you're saying here is
real quick though, Dave, real quick, just on the slip resistance, one of the things that we would recommend though, with this, there is a liquid laminate that, we would recommend that you coat with, especially in that floor scenario in a gym. So people aren't slipping and sliding as they're running real fast by. So anyway, I apologize, Dave. Continue.
Sounds good. Yeah. So, one of the things too is just simple things. These are all things Pete kind of created. We had some of the kids that were, going to the state championship in baseball, Final Four, and that was kind of fun to do some fat heads for them. But, being able to do these types of applications, pennants, that type of thing. One of the things, this has been intentionally kind of peeled back so you can kind of see how you can do the paneling, right? I wanted to show how you can kind of do those overlaps, really simple to do. Because of the accuracy of these devices when it comes to length, it really makes it nice. But, I'm at my buddy's machine shop here, and as you can see, we've got some really nice signage that's up here on the wall. And then some of the products in which they make they manufacture here. So you can kind of see here, and if you kind of take a look, I kind of talked about this, and this has probably been peeled off the wall, 50 to 100 times, no residue of any kind. And there we can just go ahead and reapply that, no problems whatsoever. And this is that postcard I kind of talked about, right? This was a postcard I scanned in and turned into a simple wall mural. And then Julie, poor Julie, she's always in my videos here, but this was just simply their company logo. And it serves as kind of a backdrop, as you see right here. And if you take a look like through the window there, you can see outdoors where we've been using some of this media. I know it's not an outdoor media, that's undercover, but having it applied to like a window and just some of the stuff with like workplace safety, these types of applications is really kind of we always want to continue to be safe, and just even doing exit signs so people know where to go are some of the keys. And signage, when you walk back in the shop, so you're making sure you're wearing your goggles, that type of thing. So I hope this helps a little bit. Since I'm walking around, I'm going to go ahead and show kind of this backdrop. This is actually something a media I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. But this was kind of a neat story. During the pandemic, my daughter became pregnant. She was having twins, and we were so locked down. She wanted to let people know about that. So I kind of made her a sign. So she sat in the car and drove to see people. And it was kind of neat for her just to get out of the house, talk to people at a distance and say, hey, we're having twins. And, and that was once on here, and now it's up on the wall, right? So you can kind of reuse some of these, kind of reuse it, if you will, right? It's not a one and done. Again, repositionable. Take it back to your office and put it up on the wall. And if you want to reuse it again, I could put that back on the sign. So that's the other part of it that's really important to notate is, you don't have to throw it away. There are places you can kind of put it and potentially reuse it. So
yeah, my
I don't know
absolute
that she's gonna
favorite.
have twins again, hopefully, but she never know. So.
My absolute favorite reuse of the repositionable peel and stick.
Yep.
These are really handy at airports. If you're just having a long layover, bored out of your mind, this is actually on the same repositionable peel and stick. And it's just hours of entertainment while you're sitting waiting for your next flight, watching people come to charge their phone. But this is a textured wall surface with a matte paint, and it sticks to this. I mean, textured surfaces are tough for most things, and this, if I can get it straight again, sticks perfectly. So I'm sure Canon and LexJet don't necessarily endorse being mean to people and sticking, but I personally love it.
Yeah, it kind of backfired on me. He gave me one of those one time, and my wife's been complaining about having a outlet in our kitchen. There was a spot in our kitchen that just needed an outlet, so I kind of put one of those up. She comes home, oh my goodness, you put that outlet in. She didn't find it too amusing, so you gotta be careful with that one. So we
recommend using it at home.
Put together a disclaimer.
So, before we move on to the next application, one thing I did want to mention, just since we're talking about walls and paint and texture, is whether it's our print and stick product or really any product that's going up on a wall, please be sure that if it is fresh paint, that it is outgassed for at least 2 weeks before you apply something, because that's a surefire way for graphic failure to occur. So that's the one thing that I wanted to mention as we're talking about the walls and paint.
One more application I want to talk about. We did an event out in Arizona, and it was Arizona, right, Pete? No, it wasn't Arizona. It was California.
It was Palm Springs, California.
Yes, and we did like a Jeep tour, and these Jeeps, they were like older Jeeps, and they had these sandwich boards on the sides and on the back, and we wanted to kind of advertise it with Canon. So as these Jeeps pulled up, and all these people from LexJet and our other dealers kind of were there. LexJet was there. Bart. So we had a bunch of art was there. So, it was kind of fun hosting everyone. And we did this Jeep tour as one of our fun events. And, one of the things I did, I flew out ahead of time and I want to take some measurements of those sandwich boards. And I want to put some stuff like on the hood. We have a contour cut solution we were showing. And so, Pete worked really hard in developing all this graphics, but these people were a little bit freaked out about potentially putting anything on their vehicles, especially in that hot sun and that type of thing. And so, I asked them if I could just come out ahead of time and show them how it works. And we ended up selling them a printer. So they ended up buying, it was just a TM, right? They didn't need anything fancy, and a contour cutter, because they realized that this is a great for a one-day corporate type events, do that branding. It ended up really being a nice way to kind of show off the application to all of our dealers, but more importantly, show how you have a customer that immediately bought this, so which was really nice. So
good. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope you learned about some great applications for LexJet print and stick fabric. If you have any questions, please contact a LexJet customer specialist at 800-453-9538 or visit lexjet.com.